On the morning of October 14th, 2023, Sarah Jenkins, a 32-year-old architect from Chicago, packed a single suitcase into the trunk of her gray sedan. She had always loved long drives. There was something therapeutic about the road. Endless lanes, soft music, coffee in a travel mug. She was heading to Denver to visit her younger sister, a trip she made once or twice a year. It was a break she needed. Work had been stressful, and things at home hadn't exactly been perfect. Her husband, Mark, had grown distant in recent months. They didn't fight, but there was an invisible wall, something unspoken that lingered in the air. Before leaving, she took a photo of her morning coffee and texted it to Mark. The message said, "On the road. See you in a week. Love you." That was the last time anyone heard from her. 3 days later, her car was found abandoned on the side of Interstate 78 in rural Nebraska. A state trooper, out on routine patrol, spotted it on a long, desolate stretch of highway. The car was out of gas. The driver's door was unlocked. The keys were still in the ignition. Her suitcase remained in the trunk, but her purse, wallet, and phone were gone. No blood. No broken windows, no signs of a struggle. It was as if Sarah Jenkins had simply vanished into the air. Detective David Chen from the Nebraska State Police was assigned the case. A disciplined investigator with 14 years of experience, Chen was known for being methodical, thorough, and calm under pressure. He'd seen a lot: missing hikers, highway drifters, drug deals gone wrong. But something about this case felt different, too clean, too calculated. The first 72 hours were spent combing the surrounding fields. Search dogs, aerial drones, dozens of officers. Nothing. They set up roadblocks, interviewed truckers at nearby stations, reviewed surveillance from gas stations within a 100-mile radius. No trace of Sarah. Mark Jenkins arrived in Nebraska the following day. To all appearances, he was a grieving husband. Red eyes, shaky hands. He held up her photo to reporters, pleading for help. He told the police everything he could think of: her route, her playlists, her favorite snacks, her planned rest stops. He handed over her text messages, including the last one he received at 8:12 p.m. on the night she vanished. It read, "Getting tired. Going to find a motel soon." Cell tower data backed up the message. The ping came from a location near where the car was found. Chen and his team built a simple theory. Sarah had run out of gas, pulled over, and perhaps accepted a ride from someone who stopped. Someone who offered help. And then, something went wrong. It was a terrifyingly plausible scenario. They followed every lead. A waitress thought she saw a woman matching Sarah's description at a roadside diner, but the timestamps didn't align. A trucker said he'd picked up a hitchhiker, but she didn't match the photo. There were false tips, mistaken identities, rumors of a serial abductor. All dead ends. Meanwhile, Mark Jenkins returned to Chicago, flying back and forth as needed, always cooperative, always devastated. His alibi for the night of October 14th was airtight. He had attended a work dinner in downtown Chicago with colleagues. Security cameras confirmed it. Multiple people saw him there, joking, drinking wine, looking at his phone. Nothing seemed out of place. The media eventually lost interest. Another pretty face on a missing person poster. Another mystery the world would forget. But Detective Chen didn't forget. He kept the case file on his desk long after others had moved on. He kept flipping through the photos of the abandoned car. There was something off. Not about what was found, but about what wasn't. No fingerprints, no tire marks, no personal items scattered in panic. It was too sterile. And that's when he thought about the car itself. Modern vehicles are like black boxes. They log everything. Seatbelt sensors, door openings, GPS movements, even changes in weight on the axles. No one had pulled the full onboard data yet. The GPS was already known, but Chen filed a special warrant for the vehicle's telematics, the entire computer brain. The lab processed it. The techs didn't think much would come of it, just thousands of lines of code. But Chen read through it himself, line by line. And then he saw it. October 14th, 9:43 a.m., location, Industrial Park, Chicago suburbs. Event, passenger door opened. Seat occupancy, sensor, negative. Weird, the door opened but no one got in. 2 minutes later, trunk lid opened. Rear axle weight increased, 125 pounds. Sarah Jenkins weighed 125 pounds. Chen's stomach turned. He cross-checked it again and again. Same location, same time frame. Sarah was supposed to have left home early that morning, but something was wrong. He went back through Mark Jenkins's timeline. He left for his dinner at 6 p.m. That meant he had the entire day unaccounted for. What if Sarah never left Chicago? Chen flew there unannounced. He visited the same industrial park, a decaying row of warehouses, mostly abandoned. He requested surveillance from a nearby building. Cameras were old, grainy, but usable. Around 9:45 a.m. on October 14th, a gray sedan, Sarah's, pulled into frame. The trunk opened. Someone moved around the back. Then the car drove away. Chen pulled financials on Mark Jenkins. That's when the picture became clear. Mark was in debt. Heavy debt. Online gambling. Credit cards maxed out. And Sarah. She had a $2 million life insurance policy. Mark was the sole beneficiary. He had motive. He had time. But he also had an alibi, unless he was creating the illusion of a road trip. Chen subpoenaed Mark's phone records. His official number matched the calls and texts to Sarah. But a second phone was found, registered under a fake name, prepaid, and purchased in cash. The kicker? That burner phone had a contact saved in it under the name Mark. It had sent messages to Mark's main number throughout the day. It was a conversation with himself. The final text from Sarah at 8:12 p.m., sent from that burner. Chen laid out the timeline again. Sarah never made it to Nebraska. She was killed in Chicago, most likely that morning, placed into the trunk of her own car. Mark drove west, used the burner phone to send fake texts to himself, creating a believable trail. Stopped at an industrial park to rearrange the body, likely panicking about movement or smell. The data showed him opening the trunk again. He continued the drive to Nebraska, found a quiet stretch of road, parked the car, wiped it clean, took the burner and her personal phone, and threw them into a river. He then boarded a pre-booked Greyhound bus in a nearby town and returned to Chicago, arriving in time to clean up and attend his dinner. Cameras showed him walking in, smiling, sipping red wine. And no one suspected a thing until the car spoke. Confronted with the digital evidence, Mark denied everything. But his demeanor cracked. The confidence wavered. And then came the final blow. Buried in his backyard garage was a shovel, dirt-stained, and DNA from Sarah's fingernails was found in the trunk lining. He cracked, Mark Jenkins confessed. He led police to a remote location in Colorado's Pawnee National Grasslands, a place he had marked on his phone weeks before the murder. There, they found Sarah's remains, buried in a shallow grave, wrapped in a camping tarp. When asked why he did it, Mark simply said, "I couldn't see a way out." Detective Chen never forgot that line. The case made national headlines. A man who staged an entire disappearance. A killer who used time, distance, and planning to hide his crime. but technology caught him. The horror wasn't in the blood. It was in the cold, clean efficiency of the plan. Mark didn't kill out of rage. He killed out of math, out of debt, out of a need to solve a financial equation. Sarah's death was part of a spreadsheet. For Detective Chen, the case was a turning point. He started reviewing other cold cases, missing people, road disappearances, staged events. He now knew what to look for. The monsters aren't always strangers in the night. Sometimes they're in the passenger seat. Sometimes they're holding your hand. And sometimes they're making coffee for you the morning they decide you're worth more dead than alive. Thanks for watching. If this case shocked you, leave a comment and subscribe for more chilling investigations.